What weird obscure fetish kink do you have, and how did you discover you were into it? Giantess. Not all of it. Not even half of it. It's a pretty diverse fetish. As I'm reading this thread, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me. Guys eyeing inanimate objects, tables, couches, blenders, etc. Blender? Nothing is hotter to me than a woman with skull face paint. When I learned about Day of the Dead in Spanish class in middle school, it was a very odd day for me. I had a chick still in her Halloween Dia de los Muertos paint. And while I myself have no particular interest in it, I hope I've made you sufficiently jealous. Throwaway time. I have a huge dentist mouth fetish. I love the submissive feeling of laying in a dentist chair. The feeling of gloved fingers and dental instruments in my mouth and on my gums. The soothing smell of latex. And the piercing, yet very satisfying sound of a dentist drill. I first realized this when I was around 10 years old and I got a cavity filled. The whole procedure was a breeze and I wasn't nervous at all. Somewhere in the middle of it all, I felt a really pleasant feeling down there. And pretty much since then, I've secretly loved going to the dentist. So yeah, I have no idea why I'm so into this. But with the exception of having to restrain myself every time I get my teeth cleaned, it's pretty freaking great. I'm lesbian but I really want to try pegging a guy and treat him like a horny schoolboy. Big fantasy of mine. Hey. I enjoy incest PRN but I'm no way attracted to anyone related to me. Throwaway time. I'm into bimbodification or at least acting really dumb for a dominant man. I don't have a clue why but I love being someone's stupid little. This thread ranges between I like boobs to I like dressing up like a cattle rancher and reading the newspaper. I'm really enjoying it, in a non-judgmental way. The spectrum of human sexuality is so fascinating. Being groped. I keep reading about girls being groped in queues. And transportation. And such. The idea of being groped in a safe setting gets my motor going. I'm into suspension. Like being chained up hog-tied. But in the air. I wanna be Ed like that. I saw PRN of it and it was really hot. I like my butthole licked. I found out. This tatted up Miley Cyrus looking chick I was eyeing at the time comes up from sucking my dick and says I'm about to do something to you. But no penetration is involved. She lifts my legs into the air and starts licking my arsehole like she is trying to get the last bit of ice cream out of a waffle cone. It was amazing. But it gets hard to ask and then they say no. So soft. Sadly the 17th of January 2015 around 3:40 am was the last time I had my arsehole licked. And starts licking my arsehole like she is trying to get the last bit of ice cream out of a waffle cone. I don't think I can enjoy ice cream cones anymore after reading that. Free use. I never even knew it had a name till I found Frios. My interpretation, may not be the accepted definition, is that sex is just treated so ultra casual that it just becomes a routine thing that you just do whenever you want. Regardless of the situation. Not routine as in boring. But as in just fulfilling a bodily function. Like eating. It's just something you do when you feel like it. Wake up. Bowl of cereal. Blow job. Read the news. And off to work. At work. Typing up TPS report. Go get coffee. A hot Ukrainian chick. Go to the 2:00 meeting. Push the project to the next part of the process. Etc. Get home. Change clothes. Watch TV. Get balls sucked. Fold laundry. Etc. It could also be a control thing too. Just having so much control over women that you can just start playing with their tits. Get blowjobs. Or start eyeing them whenever you feel like it. Life becomes a PRNO. It's not rational, realistic, or even moral. But it's a fantasy. Whatever. You know you must have a weird thing going on if you can't find it among 1263 comments. Oh man. Haha. Never do I realize how sheltered I am than when I am in one of these threads. For me it's the opposite. I come in looking for something interesting and new and I leave realizing that my definition of vanilla seems to be most people's definition of crazy. I found that I find female professional dress suits attractive. Thanks Amy Poehler and Parks and Rec. This guy's got that Hillary Clinton fetish. I'm really into the whole daddy little thing. I'm not a really girly girl normally. I'm a recovering goth so I hardly wear color let alone frills and I have zero attraction to my father. But something about wearing a frilly pink nightie and snuggling with my stuffy just does it for me. Tickling. I have no idea how I discovered it. I think it's just naturally playful and flirty. And that sort of evolved into it being SI to me. It also shares a lot of overlap with bondage, control, dominance, submission, etc. I don't really think it's a weird fetish. But it's not exactly common either. This fetish also heavily relies on your laugh. If you sound like a Ogsming dolphin. Futanery. Saw a pic of a chick with a dick and thought hey. That's not half bad. There is a gif of Bailey J brushing her teeth. It starts from the top and goes down and boom. Penis. At the time it was a prank because you're supposed to show it to your buddies and trick them into being gay. I learned that a dick doesn't turn me off. It's the male body. I really just like a feminine body. Watching people get their hair cut. Especially women with long hair getting it cut short. I realized this when I was about 10 and I got my hair cut way shorter than I wanted and I cried for a whole day. After that I was obsessed with movie and TV scenes depicting dramatic haircuts. I always thought it was super weird that I liked watching that and never really did anything with it until a year ago. Now it gets me super turned on. I have a glasses fetish that has gotten to the point where I haven't been able to come to a woman not wearing glasses in months. Pet play. Met a guy on here actually who told me about it. Explain. Edit. I have regrets. Burn everything. Holy I'm normal. I'm a mega super lesbian. I have a huge daddy kink. I love super butch girls. I just want to curl up in their lap and call them daddy. Not mommy. Daddy. There's a couple lesbian daddies out there. It's not super common. I'm just a lesbian looking for a nice girl to call daddy. Dominating a man. Not the crazy extreme PRNO stuff but having control. Romantic domination if that's the right word. I am a shy, innocent looking woman who is very professional in real life. No one would ever guess. Probably too late to matter but whatever. When I'm horny, I imagine myself as a girl. No. I'm not trans. I'm a regular dude. It's just that when I'm horny I imagine myself as the girl in the relationship. This isn't all the time. Sometimes I actually want to be the dude. But whenever I watch regular PRN I imagine myself in the girl's shoes. I found it when I came to the realization while watching PRN that I put myself in the girl's shoes instead of the guy. But I have had this fetish since early pubescence. I remember my first sexual fantasies involved me turning into a girl. I had a phase where I thought I was trans. I am not trans. But I fully respect transgender people. As I learned a lot of their issues during that time. This is weird. Because I'm a girl and I mostly think about myself as the man when watching PRN. It looks like fun to someone with a dick. Brains are weird. I have a few but most of them are not too out of the ordinary. Big booty. Thick and curvy women. Latinas. But I have a thing for progressive growth and ripped clothes. Started with this girl I would periodically hook up with. When we first started hooking up, she was relatively slim. But as we got older, she put on some weight. And each time we hooked up, she'd have a little more weight on her and some more curves. Which turned me on. One time it had been almost a year since the last time we hooked up and she was wearing the same shirt as she did last time. But since she had gained weight, it was tighter and there were a couple of rips underneath one of her breasts. I was immediately into it. So growth comparison photos and smaller clothes being ripped by voluptuous women wearing them as my fetish. Getting slapped. One of my exes wanted to slap me during sex. Originally I said no, because of the pain. But I said yes to one slap. It got me aggressive and I could feel the adrenaline pumping through my body. I told her to do it again and I just had the out of her. We were both exhausted and smiling over what just happened and it was just amazing. Doesn't work with every girl I've slept with though. It takes a special lady to bring that aggressive side out of me. I'm into tall guys with a bit of a gut. Not a beast but a bit of a gut and that he's confident about it like hey y'all this is my gut. Deal with it. So you like the voluptuous fupa? When I was in college, my girlfriend and I decided to have a quickie. She was still wearing this black dress just pulled up and it was super hot for me. I pulled out to come on her stomach and some of it got on her dress. After that, I found it really hot to have sex with her still wearing her clothes and coming on her and a little bit on them. I don't know why, but it really turns me on and I know there is a sub called Dark Human Clothes so I know I'm not alone. You and Bill. I'm late to the party, but I just love being Azul in public. The more inappropriate the situation the better. I love getting jerked off or fingering a girl if our friends are nearby. I don't want them to know or see. Though. I guess it's the secrecy and the fear of getting caught that does it for me. Also related is I really want to a girl while she's on the phone. Stockings. The ones that go up to your thigh and end in some lace. I went to a club and saw this Asian girl dancing and dressed all in black with thigh-high stockings. Black heels. Bikini briefs. Corset. Separated sleeves and a thin shawl-like thing. This was over 10 years ago and I still remember. As you can see from my username, I'm into robophilia mechanophilia. Apart from Transformers stuff, which is everywhere. This stuff is actually hard to find. Except for a few communities on Tumblr and some old Usenet archives, where it's called ASFR. But gets intertwined with remote control freezing dollarification for some reason. But I think it's growing due to things like Undertale having prominent robots characters. I'm actually not sure where it comes from. Part of it is probably from watching robots make cars with such precision. Part of it is probably from some physical issues I have which I would love to just remove and replace with machinery. Some of it is probably from sci-fi. I've answered questions about this before because it's not super common. And people are always curious. The main appeal, to me, is the idea of perfection and customization. Robots aren't limited by the human form. They can be and do anything they, or you, want. The most fun aspect of it for me is robot on robot. Because then things get really freaky. I too, as a fellow Hunan, belly stuffing vor. Oh it's weird alright. And I could go into a lot more detail into it. I think it all started when I was a kid and I had a teacher who would stick out her belly and pretend that she ate a kid that was misbehaving. I kind of liked it. Having others watch me have sex IRL and or knowing people are getting off to me having sex through the internet. I discovered it by just thinking it would be hot. So we did it. And it was. And Rachel and Jack, NSFW, by the way. We also then learned that it's extra hot to hear what people want to see and to go and do it. Always good to try new things. I don't know if this counts but I freaking love ponytails on girls' hair. Like seriously. I stumbled across NSFW, Butchapies and found out I like watching butt stuff. I don't know why but when I saw this I thought it was going to be people drawing cartoon asses with felt tip pens. Boy was I wrong. I really like missionary position. You don't want to know the story behind this one. It's so comfy and warm and close. I'm actually just a cuddle. And missionary position is just cuddling with someone inside me. Disgusting. I bet you hold hands too. I used to date a girl back in college. She used to have the best sex after she worked out. She used to rub her sweaty feet in my face during sex and make me lick her sweaty armpits. Nowadays I find it to be my biggest turn on. It's hard to find women who don't look at me weird when I ask for them to not wear deodorant and wear stinky shoes before sex. Super surprised it's not here yet. But I'm super into breath play asphyxiation. Really anything to do with choking is pretty hot. I joke with my GF that she's gonna accidentally kill me one day, but still the power dynamics and the actual physical sensations you get from it are pretty hot. Using my turning indicators. I did it by learning to drive. You might like it too. I'm really into eating ass. I'd much rather bury my face in a girl's ass than eat her PSSY out. I haven't met many girls that are actually into it though. Dot. As a 6'2" dude. Yo. Man. You don't need to feel weird about that. As a guy. Any size guy. You have the right to want to be held and cuddled and loved as anyone else. Also. If you get like a 5'0" girlfriend. You can pretend they're a jetpack. And that's awesome. I like to have my feet rubbed. Sucked. Massaged. And even a CR ped with a dead skin remover. Kinda weird. Also. Definitely have RP fantasies involving someone pillaging my village. I like to lick cum out of a woman's PSSY. I can be my cum. However, it is much better if it is someone else's. I got into this one time when I had my orgasm before she did. I wanted to satisfy her, so I went down on her and loved it. I feel like this would be a multiple level discover. Eat her own splodge out of her. Then convince her to someone else. Then convince him and her to let him come in her. Then convince her to let you sample his jizz juice out of her. Throw away because I'm not open about this fetish in my personal life. But I'm more than willing to explain it online. I have a pee fetish. It's more common than most people seem to think. I don't like peeing on being peed on by others. But I love watching others, particularly women. As I'm a lesbian, pee. Can't explain it. I like desperation wetting. But prefer nakedness to clothing. Something so hot about it. Add dirty talk to the equation and you got me extra wet up. Stuff like I need to pee. I'm about to pee my pants. Etc. You get the idea. If there's a sub for this fetish, someone please point me to it. Found out when I was a kid. Around age 8-9. And would ask my male friend if I could watch him pee. He didn't seem to care and was possibly just as into it as I was back then. Because he started asking to watch me pee after some time as well. I exclusively makes up my preferred PRN content. Dragons in cars. Girls in jazzes are very hot to me. Pretty much anything. Just the idea of kinky is like nice. Stuff I wouldn't really do. But knowing some people are into it. Trap fetish. Because of PRN. Haven't been able to actually try it though. Diapers. Desperation. And pants sweating. I've literally always had a thing for it. Googled it one day and sure enough it's a real thing. Rednecks coming onto their oversized pickup trucks. What? NSFW account because duh. I have a really big fetish for androgynous women and men. Something about the line straddling masculine and feminine, both body and behavior, really turns me on. I noticed this last year when I realized just how horny the thought of buying my gender fluid friend made me feel. Then it spread to the other short-haired women. Thin. Feminine guys. And people in between, and now I just get so horny. I also have a fetish for large. Muscular women. I'm talking Amazon warrior women types. I actually realized this watching the Olympics and it went from minor enjoyment of abs on women to something way bigger. Subs for fetish 1. What? Traps. Delicious straps. Hentai. Short hair kicks. Subs for fetish 2. Hard bodies. Hard Boltons. Fitzgeralds. Are some species. Other fetish subs I enjoy. I noticed I liked trying to have sex with my ex while she was upset or crying. Especially if it was me who upset her in the first place. I have no idea why. But I think it's hot trying to have sex at inappropriate times. I noticed this behavior of mine when my ex called me out on it. It made me go from what kind of sick person does that? To oh my god. I'm a sick human being. I hit puberty around 9, so I ended up being a 4th grader with some really detailed BDSM RP fantasies. I also have this thing where even though I'm a lesbian and strictly sexually attracted to women, I'll really try to seduce etc. anyone I can regardless of sex just because. I like being called daddy. Fire. I don't really know. I've always liked fire. Like really liked fire. One day I decided to see if there was fire PRN and there was, and now I even weirder than I was before. I did not know Aries I had a Reddit account. Cyan zips. Male chastity. Always been into not getting off because someone else says so. Azeteraiki does it for me. Admittedly. After watching a lot on anime. Gunblood play. Sex with my girlfriend has involved a disturbingly realistic M1911 themed capgun and a replica SS dagger. I'm pretty sure the sex we have is just a notch below MR. And MRS. Adams. Discovered that I have both foot fetish and a thing for guys in suits the same day. When I was 13. I was on vacation with my uncle who was very religious. Incidentally, one of the days we went to church was the day people did the foot washing, where you'd pick a partner and wash each other's feet. I was paired up with this really cute guy. He took off his shoes and socks. And my heart, and something else, skipped a beat seeing him barefoot and in a semi-formal attire. Anyways. Since then, I've been obsessed with feet and formal attire. Cute stuff. Like I find a big hoodie and panties more attractive than anything. During the winter, autumn, and spring. This is all I wear. And when I saw someone wake up like that, it was a realization. Not my thing. But I'm very curious to see how someone who likes getting kicked in the balls discovered they were into that. They probably got kicked in the balls. I have a thing for gap-toothed women. Don't know how it happened. Just one day. Saw one and I was like damn ever since. Edit. Keep the gap-toothed gals coming. Fellas. I'm currently in my bunk. Not very obscure but high ponytail plus glasses plus garter belt combo. Imagine that, a pure, innocent looking girl with a style lingerie on. Furries. Mostly transformation. Something about the impossibility of it. The thought of experiences I'll never be able to have is a tremendous turn on to me. It's super weird, but I think it'd be awesome to find someone to fall in love with. Share our lives with each other. Then, at the end, look back at all the happiness we had and appreciate how we became so much more together than what we would have been separate. I know I'm a crazed pervert. Of all the perversion in this thread, that is just sickening. How do you live with yourself? I suppose you'll want some children to go along with this.